the QR code, it should take you there directly on a web page. Or if not, you can copy the link that I'm showing at the bottom. I will copy and paste that in the chat as well, so that you can use that directly. Let me go to the chat. All right, so it may require you to sign for an account with Notion. If you are, I suggest that you use your university account, because I think as an educator, you can get a free account, education account. So, but if you already have an account, just sign in, but not too sure whether it will require you to sign on. So first things first, this is what I need all of us to do. So if you can just go to this link, give me a thumbs up if you are able to access the page. All right, so I'll give all of us a minute or two to be able to do that. If you have any questions, just put it in the chat or just ask. Just a word of caution, you have editing rights, so do not delete anything. Feel free to add, but do not delete. Once everyone is in, I will go to that document and we'll go through that very quickly, because that will be our collaborative document for today. If you can just put a yes in the chat so that I can see most of us are in, so that will help me to move on. All right, bunch of yeses. Looks like most of us are in. Fantastic. Okay, so everyone should, if you can see my screen, I'm at the same page in Notion as you are. Hopefully you can see this. So let me go through this document. If you're not familiar with Notion, it's a collaborative space where you can put all kinds of things. So I just thought I'll use this for those of us who are not familiar with Notion. You can get familiar with another new tool that you can potentially use in your lessons as well. So as you can see here, I have images, I have tables, so all kinds of things. So here is the list of activities that we'll be going through. So here's the part that says a burning question. So if you have any question, you can just put it here. If someone wants to answer it, that's fine too. So this is just to collectively put our questions that we may have throughout the day over there. This is the task, the 2 videos that we'll be watching. So I'll come back to this in a while. And at the bottom here, there's collaboration groups. Depending on which group you are in, you will just click this and it will take you to a new page. And this is where you can fill up your thoughts, your ideas from your group. Okay, so these are all the activities that we will be going through throughout the day. So let's go back to the top. So the first thing we're going to start off with is this. Answer this question. How would you describe active learning in maybe a word or two? All right, doesn't have to be a sentence, just a word or two. So I would like to capture what is your idea when you hear the word active learning. All right. So go to this, click on this voting. I will start it. So just put in a few words. You can put answers multiple times. Okay, so if you feel like there's more than one answer, one keyword that you would like to add, so just go ahead and we're going to create a word cloud. So let me go there and show us what we are all doing. All right, keep going. We'll just give us another 30 seconds. All right, so there's a lot of good response here. Seems like the main themes here is engagement, participate, collaborative. Listen and discuss, exploration, facilitation, student-centered activities, two-way communication. Ownership, experiencing, fun. All right, fantastic. Thank you for doing that. I will capture this and put it in the collaborative document for us later to be able to access and see how our understanding of what active learning maybe changes throughout the session today. So everything mentioned here to a certain extent, you are right on point. In fact, I think maybe we can stop this session and get back to our preparation. But let's move on and let's see how we can add a little bit more to our knowledge. All right, so let me just go back to my other screen. I'm sorry, so I'll be changing screens a little bit here and there. All right, so let's go back to our Notion document here. So what we are going to be doing now, I understand that there may be some internet issues. So if the screen is not clear for you, don't worry. That's why I have the Notion document that we'll be collaborating on. So use that as a reference, have it open in another tab so that you can follow along and you don't have to worry so much about Zoom and not being able to see things on the screen. All right. All right. So for our next thing, if you see the word group there, so let me see, there's about 40 of us. All right. So what I would like, so 40 divided by, let's see. Okay, so I will create one more group, looks like it. All right, so what I would like for us to do is, there's 4 groups right now. If you can just go in there and just type in your name in any of those groups that you want to be a part of, okay? All right, so go to your Notion document. Okay, someone is saying you can't type. Okay, Akadi, thank you. Click edit first. All right, so there is a edit button. Akadi, do you know where the edit button is? At the top of the page, is it on the left? Okay, all right, so everyone found it, okay? Bit of a learning curve here, so just click in the name tab and just type your name.
A question, Pak Mano.
Yes.
Do you have to log in using Sampurna ID?
You don't have to, but if you would like to explore getting a free account in the future, that's why I'm saying using your Sampurna account. That's what I'm using.
Yeah, I just downloaded the app.
Yes.
And, continue with Google. My Google is my personal Google that it picks up.
That's fine too. It's okay. Yeah, no worries.
No, but then how do you access your workspace?
Just go to the link that I provided earlier. I think it's right at the top. I'll put it again. Okay, so that's the link. All right, so there's 4 groups, group A, B, C, D, and E. So just put your name whichever group you want to be part of at this point of time. All right, has anyone been able to type your name? Let's see if there are issues.
How do you access this from the app?
From the app, is it?
Yeah, from the iOS app.
Okay, let me check and get back to you, Pak Surya.
Thank you.
Mano, can you share the screen again, the barcode?
The barcode screen, is it? Okay,
Yes.
sure. Let me share it again. Here is it.
I still cannot type in my name in the group.
Okay, Pak Surya, I'll help you first. Okay, I've already see group E. There's already names, but I don't
Mano,
see. Yeah.
I also cannot put my name in the box.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is a technical thing. So while that's happening, what I can do is Aurel and Dian and Ibu Desi, can we help the lecturers by putting down their names so at least they know which group they are part of? Okay, so I'll just put Pak Surya. I'm going to put your name. So we'll figure the technical thing while you are doing your task. So let's get our group sorted first. Okay. So the rest of us, if you can help me just put names randomly in the 5 groups, that'll be fantastic. All right. So there are 5 groups. So while that is being done, I want to bring your attention to the bottom part where there's the actual task. All right. So they are, let me just add one more group here. All right. So there are 2 videos here. One is 13 minutes and 56 seconds long. And the second video is 10 minutes and 24 seconds. So once we are done with the names, group A, B, and E, I just want you to, you can go on silent and go and watch the video by yourself. Okay. Just watch it by yourself, take down some notes, what you feel like you get from these speakers. Write them down. If you want to write them down directly, you can go to these collaboration groups. I'll make another copy of this. So this is the good part about Notion. I can change things and add things very quickly. Okay, so can we help out with filling up with the names?
I think we should add the group, yeah, or just add the row for each group.
Yeah, there's a table where you can fill up the names. Okay, let me just fill this up quickly.
Mano, your sharing screen become black again, Mano.
Is it?
Yep.
My screen, is it?
Yes, sharing screen.
Okay, all right. Let me just share again. Okay, is it visible now?
Thank you, Mano. I can see that
all
now.
right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill up the names very quickly. Now, I was not able to fill up the names because I did not know who was going to attend this session, but just give me 1 minute. I should be able to.
So you rearranging everyone's group, Pamano? Because it's already filled up actually.
Oh, is it? I'll.
Yes.
Yeah,
Already filled up already.
yeah, I see your group, but those that hasn't filled up, I'm filling up for them. Yeah, so that's why. Because some names are still not on yet. Yeah.
Mano, my name also is not there yet.
Yes, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going through the list and I should be done very soon. Okay, because it affects which video that you use. So I'm just doing this. So you can see on the list that okay, Pak Agni done. Okay.
I'm already in group E.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just doing this really fast. So just if
Yeah.
you are in two places, you just choose which one you want to.
Oh,
Right? Yeah. So Pak Rafi already in. Pak Santo. Okay, let me add him here. All right.
Could you put my
Yeah.
name in also, Pak Mano, please?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, so. All right, lastly, Bu Vera. All right, done. Okay, so these are your groups. All right, can you see the screen? If you refresh if I have any repetition, just pick the group that you want to be. Pak Kush, I think I put your name twice. So yeah, so you can stay with the.
Mano, my name
Yes.
was deleted, but now I couldn't find my name.
Oh, is it? Who's that?
Yeah.
Pak
Farid, Pak.
Pak Farid. Hey, Pak Farid.
Yes.
Okay. I put you here. How can I miss you? All right, Pak Farid.
Masya
Done.
Allah.
All right. Okay, so
Thank you,
your
Pak.
groups are here. You know which group you belong to. So the task is really simple. All right. So if you are in group A, B, and E, this is the video that you'll be watching. I will put the link on the chat as well, but you can click from here directly. If you're in group C and D, you will be watching this video, the second one. Okay. So you have 15 minutes. Okay. I'll run a timer for 15 minutes because this is about the longest is about 14 minutes. So you can fast forward if you want to, if you feel like some of the parts are a bit repetitive. But you have 15 minutes and then we will come back here and we will split you into 5 groups according to that list, and you'll be able to have some solid discussions there for another 15 minutes. Okay. All right. So go ahead and watch the video. Just make sure your mic is on mute.
Oh, Mano, you delete my name again.
Oh, did I?
Islam. Yeah.
Okay.
I was
can you
in B and now I cannot find my name.
Okay.
Uchi. It was
Okay.
Islam.
Yeah, I did. Did I delete that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put you back here. You are in.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Mano.
All right.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind this, yeah. Group A, B, E, you be watching video A, and group C and D, you'll be watching video B. I will see everyone in 15 minutes.
I got the wrong breakout room.
We are not in the breakout room yet. We are going to watch the video first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
once you finish the video, then we'll come back to the main room and then we'll do the breakout. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay, time is up. If you may join your group for discussion. You have about 10 minutes in your group to do that. Pak Andri, not joining your group. Pak Kenny, Pak Arya, you may join your group. Okay, which group am I in? Okay, I think someone, okay, let me check. Can we put Pak Arya in group? Pak Arya, which video did you watch? Oh, you're in group D, so you watched the second video. All right, so we need to put you in group C or D. Or can you put Pak Arya in group C or D, whichever is smaller? Pak Wandi, are you lost? I think it must be the internet connection. That's why there's some delay in
Halo Desi. Pak Mano ini kemana ya?
I think the internet connection is lost ya.
Oh gitu. Ya,
Let me check.
saya udah join breakup room tapi habis itu nggak ada apa-apa. Itu gimana? Kita harus suruh apa nih?
Mbak Dian, are you there? Ya Bu. Could you please help Pak Andri to join the group? Because I'm not.
I already joined the breakup room, but nobody's guide us.
Oh really?
What should we do?
Okay, wait a minute ya Pak Andri ya. So Pak Andri, you are from group A, right?
Yes.
Okay. Please wait. I'm going to ask Pak Mano.
Should I wait in the room, breakout room?
I think so, Pak. You should join the group A.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
waiting for Pak Mano ya.
Yeah. Thank you, Pak Mano. Thank you, Pak Andri.
Nya di bawah discussion juga kelihatan sih. Kelihatan sih, semua sih kelihatan ya.
Saya bisa ngeliat semua nih, Pak Iwan.
Oke lah, yang
komen
penting
kan.
bisa kelihatan ya.
Oh, iya ada add comments juga ya Pak Iwan ya. Oh, kalau
Sebentar
Pak
ya.
Iwan mau, memberikan masukan bukan berupa komen, Pak Iwan, kayaknya dia ada lines di bawah komen situ panjang. Pak Iwan harus nulis di bawahnya yang punya saya itu, Pak Iwan. Coba tulis Pak Iwan. Tapi kalau di bagian komen bagian atas memang tempatnya buat komen kelihatannya itu. Coba saya share dulu ya. Coba kita bisa
Ada
share.
coba itu kelihatan nggak Pak Ari? Thanks Pak Ari, saya tulis sana.
Ada kelihatan Pak, ada. Coba saya, apakah screen saya kelihatan teman-teman? Nah ini.
Nah, saya klik.
Itu Pak. Itu Pak Surya udah bisa tulis langsung bukan berupa add. Jadi kita tulis di bawahnya Pak Surya.
Nah, itu kalau punya saya kelihatan nggak Pak? Halo? Nggak.
Kelihatan di atas. Jadi kita mesti tulis di bawah sini nih. Nah, kalau mau komen kita tulisnya di atas sini. Bisa gitu ya. Jadi either way terserah apakah kita mau dalam berupa komen kayaknya ya. Atau berupa tulisan-tulisan lain yang bisa kita tulis di bawahnya. Nah ini ada yang nulis lagi nih. Tinggal dilanjutkan sepertinya nih Bapak Ibu. Nah. Classroom-nya pindah ke VCD Classroom.
Halo. Enggak, cuma seminar aja. Halo, Bu.
Welcome back, everyone. I was looking at the notes and I kind of popped into some of those groups to listen to your discussions. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, there were some great discussions going around. And so what I want to do right now is just give each of those groups a brief opportunity, maybe 2 minutes, just to share what are some of the key learnings or thoughts that you had from your discussions from your groups. And what I'll do is I will share the Notion document and your respective groups. So can we have someone from Group A to share?
Pak Surya kayak.
Saya nominate Pak Iwan, Pak Manu.
Yes, okay, Pak Iwan nominated.
Okay. So according to our group discussion, so here are after watching the video, of course, yeah. Here are the outcome. So we said that okay, from me we need to have a group project. So basically the video talk about more group discussion instead of one-way teaching that we just giving lecture. So we can have a group discussion either maybe through group project, small group project, or maybe from video, watch video and ask the student to discuss. And also the setup of the classroom, yeah, instead of our regular classroom, so they have this round table or certain shape of table where student can sit, and then they're going to have a face-to-face discussion. So more or less around group discussion among the students, and then lecturer as a facilitator. So again, let me read some few ideas from the group here, yeah. So here's I said group project related to the topic, watching video and group discussion. Here's book discussion by students, experimentation on group project, and peer review on the assignment. And then we have classroom, more like PCD design classroom, yeah. It is not a regular classroom where I think Pak Mano still remember, yeah, where we have a lecturer see the student. Just instead of regular classroom, we have this round shape or certain shape of table where a student can sit face to face and talk to each other. Basically, that's all from our group, Pak Mano.
Okay, thank you so much for those insights.
Pak Mano, can I add something, please?
Yes, go ahead, Pak. Yeah.
We did not discuss it in the group yet at the moment, something that I want to share because the limitation of the times.
Okay.
Something that I want to raise, Pak Mano, when we working in the group discussion, as you know, we can see a couple category of the student, right? Some of them, sometimes they become, they want to do dominate the discussion sometimes. Sometimes they just keep silent, and then we cannot measure actually what happened with them. So if we have the kind of type of the student, I'm thinking like we need to have some kind of the evaluation from them for the discussion, during the discussion, of course, right? So and how also we as the lecturer, for example, to handle this type of a student. They just keep silent and then they did not respond to our question sometimes, even though we asked already to them, yeah, going around like round table, asking them one by one. And the other thing also, something that sometimes disturbing our group discussion is some students who are saying something in the negative way. So they want to sing in a different way. And then when we, for example, giving the right direction, sometimes they not accept it, but they put it in the, as the like the opponent of us, something like that. So this is not easy also to be handled, by the way. So I mean, yeah, we need to learn on how to handle this kind of situation. I know maybe the percentage only small, but they can ruin our class sometimes. Thank you, Pak Mano.
All right. Yeah, great point, Pak Teddy. You know, I think we are talking about strategies in terms of delivering our knowledge to them, but what you are bringing is also equally important, which is classroom management, right? Because sometimes students will fight us or oppose us or not be cooperative. So again,
yes, correct.
This active learning is only one component because our one-to-one conversations with them, maybe they need help from the counselor. So there's a lot of other components that are also involved. And I think what active learning can do is, you know, if they are not willing to listen to us, maybe they are willing to listen to their peers and learn from their peers, you know, and sometimes that can be frustration. I think sometimes as a student, you know, when I hear a lecture, I don't understand, and then I go home, I watch a video, I relook at the notes, and then the ha-ha moment comes. Now I understand. And I think that breakthrough, when we share with another student, because we have experienced that how I went from not understanding to understanding, right? Because if I'm the expert, I've been doing this for 20, 25, 30 years, this is at the back of my mind. But for a new learner, it's a challenge. So I think that's why peer-to-peer learning sometimes helps, because they've solved the problem of that misunderstanding and they are able to communicate that better to a student. So I think active learning is not something that will solve all problems like you brought up: classroom management, seating arrangement, resources, and sometimes like today, you know, doing something online takes a while for everyone to get acquainted with the technology that we are trying to use to mediate. So all this takes time. So, but thank you for bringing that up. I think that's a very, very valid point. Yeah. So thank you, Group A. That was, again, you have access to all this, so you can also go check out what they have written down. Okay, someone from Group B, please.
All right, it will be me. All right, so we have some discussions to highlight interesting things up from the videos. And the first one is that active learning equals co-creation of knowledge. So yeah, as it said before from the Group A, students create knowledge together with discussions, participations, and of course the second one, like the whole Group B has the impression that, oh, the class was awesome. So they shown us different kind of classes settings, chairs that can be turned around, and theatrical classes, stuff like that. It can change from discussions into short lectures, stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's interesting. Classroom settings are awesome, but we also discussed that how if that is translated into online environment. So yeah, like how those classes. So I think Pak Eka said something like about actually the most important part is the approach. It's not only the settings. Classroom settings helps, but I think the approach is, you know, something's the meat of the problem over here. So about active learning. And then Bu Uci said about we need peer teaching and peer evaluation by breaking the class member into the small groups. So yeah, like what we do here, we're grouped into 5 groups. We have discussions, and then we learn from each other. I think that's how active learning works. Also, yeah, I think this is Pak Lukman or Pak Tomba. I forgot. Classroom innovation to improve student is needed. All right. So yeah, again, it's about the approach, innovations. And I think Pak Lukman figure out something on the YouTube page of the videos that the summary of the video is already there. So we will go with that. Says Pak Krishna. If you go to the YouTube link, you will see the summary of the video there, and it's talk about what they taught in the videos. And yeah, last but not least, students learning from mistakes. This is interesting because what we when we tell them something, when we lecture them, it's not necessary. They will not necessarily remember what we told them, but when they do some mistakes and we try to correct them, it will stick on them for quite a long time. So students learning from mistakes. So mistakes is part of active learning. I would like to add something like agency and ownerships as well. So reacting to the previous problem that some students probably rebellious. We probably should ask ourselves, like, do they know the importance of the topics that we discuss, stuff like that? So they have ownerships to their learning, because it's part of the adult learning principles. So they need to be able to own their learning process. I think Pak Eka or Pak Krishna wants to add something. Oh, I'm sorry with my avatar.
It's all complete, I guess, Pak Martha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much. I think you brought up some great points in terms of student agency. So hopefully active learning strategies will promote, like you said, based on adult learning strategies, andragogy, that, like students will take more responsibility in co-creation of knowledge. They feel like they're partners in learning and they're allowed to make mistakes. So great points there. Thank you so much, Group B. Let's go to Group C. Who is the spokesperson or spokeswoman for Group C? All right, I think they are deciding who should.
You probably want to call a name, Pak Manu.
throw someone under the bus.
Okay, Pak Manu, let me try so my colleague can add some more.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. So he talked about the social interaction. He also taught us about lecturing and video viewing is very old. So what he tried to us as a lecturer do is collaboration or synchronization about the social interaction. So because the reason is because some of the learning teaching is still online, so we need to synchronize the teaching with the social interaction. Like he asked to use like social media, and all the algorithm told about the video too long is, I cannot say no one watch, but it's very minor watching. So as we knew also that why Reels make the video is very short, it makes some person to still focus on the video. So and the other things is the synchronization or the pre-classroom is for not only good for the student, but also very good for us. So the student can make an annotation, and we would know what the things or what they thought about something that we write on. Okay, maybe other friends want to add some more.
I really like that quote right at the bottom, which I think is so appropriate. The curse of knowledge. Once you understand something, you forget the difficulties at the beginning of learning. That is so true, isn't it? Even as parents, sometimes when we try to coach our kids, we get a bit impatient because we kind of forgot the difficulties of learning when we were young. We sometimes think we were born with our bachelor's degrees, but actually not. So great quote. I really like that. Anyone want to add to Group C here, or we can move on?
Pak Mano?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pak Jati, you want to say something?
Yeah, if possible, I want to add something. Actually, I want to just to emphasize the needs for the teaching assistant. You see, with the setting that we have in Sapuan University on teaching assistant, most of the teaching assistant is doing online, I mean online modes. Yeah, because of the the salary is not so much, so it's difficult to live in Jakarta, far away, right? So if the teaching assistant is going to help us in the active learning, I don't think it's easy for us in this kind of setting. So yeah, maybe this is just the feedback for the management for the teaching assistant. We should really seriously think about this. In other university, in overseas, teaching assistant is coming up from the PhD students, master students. So it's easy for them to make the active learning using the teaching assistant. That's what I want to add.
Okay, all right. Thanks for bringing that up. I know this was brought up previously as well. Like, since teaching and learning is online, active learning obviously is a little bit more difficult, not little bit, but a bit more challenging to do, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. I think the most important thing that is we see the value of it and don't resort to lecturing, but really make an effort. It's not going to go smoothly, but at least we give it a shot to engage the students through some active learning activities, even online. But that point taken on about, you mentioned about teaching assistants, and we will take a note of that. Thanks for bringing that up. All right, let's go to group D. We have two more groups. Any representative from group D?
Bu Jelo, please, Bu Jelo.
Oh, okay. Well, I think in our group, we find that video is very interesting, and we agree that active learning is a strong and effective method for the students to catch up, learn quickly, and encourage the students to express themselves and to understand whether they understood lessons or not. However, there is a concern whether this method is effective in Indonesia. I guess this is mostly on my experience, okay? Because my class is a speech class, it's a debate class, and just to get that student to speak, it's an effort. Jadi, it's not that I do not want to engage, but there is also a habit, I guess, learning habit from our students, the Indonesian students in particular, because Indonesian students, especially if they don't, if they come from the traditional type of schooling, their habit is to sit down, fold their hands, listen to the teacher, and then you learn from listening to the teacher instead of discussing. Whereas in my class or some other classes, I need them to I really push them to engage because it's my debate class, it's my speech class, and just to push them to talk is very much an effort. I agree with this effective learning, with this engagement, if make the students think first, discuss first, and then read the theory later. But I've been trying my heart out to do this for years and years. And not that I'm giving up, it's an effort nonetheless. So
anyone want to add from that group?
Yeah, Pak Mano, not only yellow class. I'm teaching mechanics. Just like Pak Teddy mentioned earlier, to make the students start asking what they had been, wondering in the previous class and come to my class after watching my videos. Everybody just silent, look at me, each other, and then, I waste like 10 minutes already. That luxury of time is also a problem. I have only 16 weeks or per se 14 weeks to make sure that the whole learning outcome is reached, the whole topics are explained, and never be enough if I just,
That's
spend
true.
a meeting discussing of one physical phenomena. And consequently, I will be rushing out myself to teach the next topic, which is a much difficult one. I heard that from Pak Jati class. Pak Jati is, he taught a class that is, continuing to my class. And then he apologized to me, Pak Farid, I couldn't catch up this topic because I took a lot of time to explain the previous one, which is more basic. Said, then Pak Jati, I should start early, even not from my part, but I also start from introducing the part that has not been explained by Pak Jati's class. So this strategy, Pak Mano, seems like we have to have an additional time outside of the class.
Agreed.
Seems that the students, come to our class, expect us to speak first, and then based on that, they expect us to give some problems and they start to discuss, but
traditional learning habit.
And the time is very limited. But we have this discussion in our group, and I think it is also a shared experience, with other lecturers. Institute. Thank you, Pak Mano, Bu Jelo.
Yeah, I think that
Mano,
these are
can I add something also at this point, Mano?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, two things, Mano. I see two different behavior based on the background, Pak Mano. If some student they came previously from our academic before, some academic, they are usually in the good manners. I'm happy with them. But sometimes we find some students who are, from the different background, maybe the family or I don't know, broken home or something. They sometimes become another a barrier for us. Sometimes they disturbing our class also. That's one thing. The second one, Pak Mano, and Bu Julia, I saw also the changing of the generation. We see like some of them now like 18, 19 or 20 years old, which is considered as the generation Z or something like that, which is usually they interest with two things, Pak Mano. Something which is flexible and something which is also instant. The two variable, I think that's a little bit not easy when we want to implement it in the active learning. How we can, based on the learning outcome, for example, we can get directly the outcome reached to them flexibly and also instantly, for example. Yeah, that's my second point, Pak Mano. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. I think these are two great points. I think first of all about the culture. I think yes, culture does play a major part in how students behave. So I think, I want to encourage us, instead of thinking about Indonesian culture, Malaysian culture, Singapore culture, let's think about what is human culture. What can we do? Something that can really help uplift our students in Indonesia. It's okay to come from that culture, but I think hopefully we can, by the time they leave our university, they will be a little different and they can carry on their progress. I think in terms of time, I think yes, I think that's why it has to be a collective effort. I think we cannot put the burden all on communication class, like you need to fix and change these students. But and I also understand on the other extreme, Pak Farid, in your more technical courses, you can't spend as much time as in communication class. But I think it's that if they go to every class and there's some kind of effort, it doesn't have to be, 80% and debate, but just 5, like if they experience this in every class in different degrees, hopefully that will push them towards change. Of course, we don't want you to compromise your learning outcomes, and because I understand some courses are very technical and there's a lot of skills that they need to learn, but keep in mind, I think this culture, we need to change this. I do not know whether you've heard about the Korean Airlines, when there was a crash, and they had this investigation done to why this crash happened. And it was a cultural issue, because the pilot and the co-pilot, the objective of the co-pilot is to challenge the pilot when he feels that the pilot is making a wrong decision. In this case, the co-pilot knew something was wrong, but because of culture, in Korean culture, you don't challenge or your authorities, or you don't speak up to your authorities, and he chose to keep quiet. And they found out one of the primary reasons why this crash happened was because the co-pilot did not act, and it was a cultural thing. And they realized the training was not so much technical, but the thing they had to fix is the cultural issue, the ability to challenge your superiors and knowing that you're not going to be reprimanded for that. So I think it's very important. I think this is not a life and death issue, but I think to help our students in Indonesia to be more, not just to be more globally, accessible. They can, students who graduate here can go to any part of the world and succeed. And we know we have a lot of students like that, but to have more and more Indonesians to be able to do that, we need to change this culture part. And I think active learning is a small start where we can nudge the students towards this. So thank you so much for this discussion. I think this is very, very appropriate. And lastly, let's have Group E. Well, Group E, very rich discussion here. So anyone who would like to share from Group E?
Please.
Agni
Pak Santo, silakan Pak Santo.
Okay, Pak Santo, you've been thrown under the bus, so please.
Oh, he's gone, probably. Okay, perhaps a bit, Pak Mano. No one seems to want to present this. So
okay, maybe we can just go to the last part here that has been highlighted.
Yeah, correct. So actually, that's the three things that we highlighted. So the first one is about the changing the campus environment to change the people instead of pushing the people to change. Perhaps we should try another approach, which is changing the environments to so that the people will follow to the environment that the change will happen. That's the I think that's a quote there. I forgot the exact quote, but that's I think the main thing. And that environment includes the change of the class layout to support more on the active learning, like we've seen some of the architecture provided in the video, like having a setup with round tables, small groups discussion, and then the swivel chairs, and then even the in the library or the hall that has like staircase, like that like every group can have one stair to have a group discussion, etc. So that will also help improve the active learning. As well as the third one is about the role of the lecturer, because the video also mentioned about a study there that has two groups. One is teach by a tenured professor using the traditional way, which is just lecturing, which has a very low grade percentage, which is only 40-something percentage, which is it means it's a fail. Whereas there is another one group that only teach by not teaching, delivered by a graduate student, by tutor, but they focus on the active learning method, discussion, and then problem solving, and that got almost twice the result at the end of the semester. So that's I think another way of how we should put ourselves as a lecturer. We need to shift our role from just the passive centering the focus on us. Instead, we need to shift the focus towards the students. So that will need to us to change our role as a lecturer. I think that's the note on our discussion. And if you see the above discussion, we see Pak Samto already designed a couple of design for
there's some
the classroom
suggestions.
layout.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Pak.
I think that's a great point. I know I had discussions about this 2 years back before the pandemic about classroom layouts, because you're right. In order for active learning for us to engage in such activities, we need to change the physical structure in our classroom as well. Because right now we are set up to be like a lecture. So, sometimes we don't have time to come in and spend 10 minutes changing looking for tables and changing the arrangements. So this will, hopefully in the future, as we get back to face-to-face, this is definitely something that we will look into, about changing the way classrooms are arranged in such a way that it's modular and it makes it easy for us to engage in active learning strategies. Yeah, so thank you so much for that. So let me just stop here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to summarize the learnings that we have had so far.
Manu, can I make a quick comment?
Yes, please go ahead, Pak.
I'm sorry, I was Bubivit was here, so I was out of this discussion for about 10-15 minutes. But anyway, we've been talking about how good active learning is and things like that, but we never did talk about the pitfalls of active learning. How can we avoid those pitfalls? A good example, in a flipped classroom, you would expect the students to have gone through the materials. Like for UA instance, they have gone through the videos, take a look at them, and then come to the classroom prepared for discussions. Yeah. But we all know that not everybody
don't do it. Yeah. All right.
What I did is I just forced them to look at it by giving them pop quiz at the beginning for the materials on the video, to make sure that then when they take the quiz, if they know, if they have watched the video, they can do the quiz. If not, then they can't. But that's, I don't know what else to do besides that. I'm sure there are pitfalls in active learnings, and we need to discuss them to avoid those pitfalls. So I know it's good and things like that, but I'm sure it's not perfect.
Okay. All right. Pak Surya, thanks for being the devil's advocate. I appreciate that. I think,
I'm not being the devil advocate, Pak Mano. I'm the devil.
All right. So, that's a great point. I appreciate you bringing that up. I think it is important for us to understand that it's all not rosy. There are challenges. Issues of culture was brought up, behavior was brought up, attitude was brought up. So again, I think, there's a lot of components here at work, but at least we start with this and we look for ways, understand, strategy that Pak Surya mentioned, like give a quiz at the beginning to ensure that they have watched it. So that's important as well. So let me just summarize here. Active learning here refers to a broad range of teaching strategies which engage students as active participants in their learning during class time with their instructor. So I think the key areas is a broad range of strategies. It's not one thing. The goal is to engage the students as active participants. As some of you mentioned, that these students tend to be not active. So lecturing will just make things worse and not better. So in summary, what are some of the things that we looked at? What is active learning is teaching techniques other than lecture. So that's what basically it is. It is consists of smaller tasks. It's not a project, but sometimes a project can consist of smaller active learning activities, but it is not the project. These are some smaller tasks that can engage the students. students must be discovering, processing, and applying information. That's what happens in active learning strategies. It's not some hoo-ha, rah-rah, but this is what happens when you have an active learning strategy. It can take many forms. So just keep that in mind. It's not one way, but it can take many different forms. And you can engage in active learning strategies for different reasons, you know, to build a rapport with students, to build trust, to create a bit of fun in the class. So it doesn't always have to be for the purpose of learning, but it can be social in some nature in the beginning, just to build that connection with the students. And one of the other things that we've looked at is there's ample research evidence of its effectiveness. We know it works. So what we are doing is it doesn't mean they are not challenges, especially with online learning. How do we make this happen? They are, but there's enough evidence, I believe, for all of us to put some effort into this. So how does a lesson may look like? All right, so there's some advanced organizing. You put things in places. You lecture for 10 to 12 minutes, not more than 15 minutes. We know attention span drops after that. Let me just have a drink. Three to 4 minutes of activity, an active learning activity. Another 10, 12 minutes lecture just to, you know, summarize things. So this is how a lesson may look like, right? Instead of a lecture going on for 50 minutes or 45 minutes. So that's what we want to try to avoid in our courses. We unfortunately don't have time to look at this. I have a video. I will put it in the collaborative document. This is a beach ball activity. So a lecturer, actually, this is in MIT. She actually brings a beach ball and just throws it to a student. Whoever catches it gets to answer the question. And then after that, they will pass the ball or throw the ball to somebody else. And, you know, it's a bit of fun. Some may avoid it and punch the ball away, or someone else will capture it. But again, it's just a way to, you know, when you said students aren't responding, right? So this is a way, instead of you picking on them and saying, hey, you are always quiet, I want you to talk, you know, so let the ball decide who talks next. So this is just, again, a strategy that you can use in the classroom, you know, find a nice, colorful beach ball and then just bring it into the classroom to use as a tool. So active learning is not just a range of activities, it's actually a spectrum. You have something that is very, very simple, and you have something that is very complex. So again, depending on the time that you have, the course that you're teaching, the cohort that you have, you may decide which may be the most appropriate active learning strategy that you want to employ. So again, this slide, I will make it available so that you can have a look. And the truth is, I know a lot of you here have already been employing some of these strategies in your teaching already. For those who haven't yet, I want to encourage you to consider this. Like I said, it needs to be a collective effort of all of us as staff. You know, we cannot just put the burden on a few courses because we expect those courses to be more engaging than the other courses. So again, as I said, a lot of you do practice this. You've gotten great results from these strategies. I just want to encourage you to continue to do so, and the rest of us to increase maybe and to cut down on lectures as much as possible. So these are some examples again, you know, of how active learning strategies can look like. There are so many that I don't think we can list everything, but I do want to encourage you to go to the document and try to fill up some things if you can. So why is active learning so important? Because I think it's the kind of profile or the kind of students we want to build, right? Because we want our students to have certain qualities when they graduate, all right? And I think active learning can lead to that. It has a potential to lead to that. So again, I'm not going to go through everything here. I will share this for you to have a look. Again, this was mentioned by someone just now, agency, where students take responsibility for learning, right? They know that it is not the lecturer, oh, your lecture is not good, or your materials are unclear, so that we avoid those things and we say, you know what? Learning is a co-responsibility between me as an expert and you, and I'm here to facilitate so that you will become a good engineer. So the burden is not on me or the institution alone, but how can we build that kind of profile in students? And that is one of the results of active learning strategies that we hope we can achieve as an institution. So in closing, so we're going to end here. So thank you so much. And I hope this whole session also serves as how active learning strategy can look like in your classroom. I did want to do some other things, but the discussions, I think, takes precedence. I think there were some great things that were shared, so I wanted to spend more time on that. So in closing, I just want you to finish off with this. I'll be hanging around a little bit. I think on the chat, there is a link for you to fill up a feedback form. But I want you to, before you, after you finished up the feedback form, if you can go back to this Notion, there's a place there for you to type this. I used to think, and now I think. So what did you think about what active learning is, and what do you think now? So I just want some feedback from you. And thank you so much for taking part. And I really appreciate moving forward how we're going to implement active learning into our courses. So I just want to finish up with this call to action. So as a result of this, what are we going to take away? First and foremost, we have done some reflection together. So I hope that you'll be able to think a little bit deeper about active learning in your respective courses that you teach. The second thing, which is very, very important, I would like for all of us, this is the requirement, to add 2 to 3 active learning strategies into your lesson plans. Okay. Again, you may already be doing it. We just want you to reflect and write down a few strategies. One, maybe at least just 2 to 3. You may be doing more, but at least 2 or 3 is fine. So if you can do that, that'll be fantastic. By when I need to complete this? By the end of the semester. So go back to your lesson plan. It's not the lesson plan that you share with the students, but the one that you submit to your study program heads and your deans. Just say, these are the activities that I use. Just one paragraph, a table maybe, or maybe we can create a template that we will just add this one more column that you can just add what are the active learning strategies. We just want a way of be able to track that this is something that all of us are engaged in proactively in implementing active learning strategies into our lessons and courses. So with that, I just want to thank you for everyone for taking the time for joining us with CETL to go through this session, and have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Pamano.
Pamano, can I have 1 minute, please, Pamano?
Yes. I'll stay on for a while. Yes.
Sure. Can I share one slide only, Pamano?
Yes. Let me just stop sharing here. The rest of us, if you can start filling up the form and also the Notion, what I used to think and what I think now, that'll be fantastic.
Can you see my sharing screen, Pamano?
Yes, we can see.
Is it one page or 2 pages? Yeah. Just a moment. Let me check it first.
But Teddy, I'm sorry because I have another meeting, so I will.
All right then. Okay.
I
Maybe
will
next
have to
time.
jump out, but you can continue. You can continue sharing because everyone else is here. But just that I will need to jump out. Okay.
All right
But
then.
go
Next
ahead.
time then,
Yeah.
Mano. Okay, because I want to talk to you in this forum actually. If this is not the good time, it's okay. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's fix a time. I will reach out to you so that we can talk more.
Okay, so we're going to have a photo session. Can everybody open their camera?
Yes, sure. Camera, everyone.
Okay, so I'm going to take the first page photo first. In 1, 2, 3. Okay, for the second page. In 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you, Pak
Thank
Mano.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Manu, Bapak Ibu.
Thank you, Pak Manu.
Pak, thank you Bu.
Izin
Thank you,
keluar
Pak Manu.
ya.
Stay healthy and
Bye.
stay cool.